let's get into it and talk about things that nobody talks about at work, and they should. I always do this conversation with my employees, and somehow they always say, why nobody is talking about this? So here I am, I'm sharing it with you as well. I'm not a genius, it's literally common sense. So the first topic is the utopian vision of a perfect workplace that doesn't exist, so don't look for it. And the second part of this conversation that I always have is that toxic, or rather dysfunctional work environment is the norm. And that's it. And I'm going to talk about why I don't like toxic, the terminology of toxic workplace, and I rather use dysfunctional, but also I'm going to clear it up for you why you shouldn't overthink it and overcomplicate it, because it's nothing to do with toxicity, it's nothing to do even with dysfunction, it's just your match with that particular workplace. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Sylvia, an organizational psychologist, and I talk about everything and anything related to HR, people, and their experiences. So the first one is that I always like to have this conversation with my employees, is this utopian vision of the perfect workplace, especially the younger generation. And I blame HR and the PR gurus for this expectation. So you remember, disappointment comes from expectation. And unfortunately, HR and PR and the engagement gurus and all the, the fluffy stuff, they set these expectations to the young generations that, there is this perfect place. You just need to find it. And that's what they are looking for. They're going job hopping. They are looking for the perfect workplace. Now, it doesn't exist. So, and how does it look like when they are looking for that? Is so interesting, because when I notice it, so most of the time they say, I'm not happy here. Well, could be, but why? And when you start asking why, there's no real question or answer to this question. There are many issues to be solved. Well, that's a workplace. That's why we are here. If there were no issues, none of us would be there, right? So I never understood this argument. Other places have ABC. Well, I can tell you that every single work environment, even the best companies, have millions of issues, okay? They might have this, but they don't have that. Or they might have that, but they have another issue that, basically overrides what they already have and you are craving for. So that's a scarcity mindset. Always looking for what you don't have and what others have. You can't be happy. There's just no way. And obviously, this is where the job hopping comes into it, because they start looking for this perfect place. But once again, it's all HR's fault, and the PR gurus, they are extremely good at painting this rosy picture, of work with their theories that, hey, this is what it could be. Yeah, well, I could be a pope, but that's not going to happen, right? So, and these are most of the time completely detached from reality, and they are the ones who never worked in a corporate environment. Dave Ulrich, the father of HR, what he really gave us is the endless frameworks that none of them worked. Is the perfect example. Spent all of his career, I respect his work, in academia, research, university, never worked, never been to a corporate environment, and then providing us frameworks and theories. This is what you should do. Well, maybe not. Now, let's have this conversation. What is it? What does work look like, really? And work sometimes is all about doing things that you don't want to, or they have no value or make no sense. And that's part of it. And there is no other way. You will have those times. Playing the politics, that's given. If you don't play the politics will play you, and then you're gonna end up crying, oh, nobody is promoting me, nobody is noticing me, nobody is whatever, because you don't play the game. It's all about, it's a game. Working with people you dislike. Most people you work with, you will dislike. So, especially if you work in a large organization. So, don't look for an environment where you like everybody. Find that one person, that one workplace bestie, and you will be just fine. Compromising, sometimes you will have to compromise your values and moral standing. I will come to that when I discuss toxic workplaces, but that will happen. But to what degree you are willing to do that, this is what really matters. But it will happen that you will have to say, that hurts, but am I going to stay and take part in that, or is just too much for my values, and I can't do it, and I'm going. So we come back to this. Sometimes you will have to keep your mouth shut. Difficult, especially for the younger generation, but most of the times is the wisest and the smartest decision and action to be taken. Keep your head down, do your job, and keep your mouth shut. Now, once again, depends on situations and scenarios and the environment and the topic, what you are keeping your mouth shut about, but many times you will have to do that. Being stressed. There's nothing wrong with stress. Today, I keep hearing that, oh, stress is not good. Now, finally, studies are coming out that, hey, we cuddle these young generation too long. They are too soft, and they just can't handle anything. Now, you remember your mental health, because you guys love throwing this word, is like your immune system, your physical health. It has to be exercised and stressed and pushed for it to be built. You cannot build resilience, strong mental capabilities and capacity if you are not stretched, stressed, and pushed. Now, don't push yourself to a breaking point, but keep pushing. Stress is good. So you will have time when it's stressful, and that's okay. That's a normal working environment. Arguing and confronting people. You will have that. Don't shy away from it. Learn how to do that in a professional way. But if you imagine that you will not argue, you get along with everybody all the time, that's just false expectations. You're setting yourself up for failure. Having hard conversations. Now, this is less and less, but you will have that. And there is no way out of it. So be ready. Deal with arrogance and ego every single day. Every single day. But that's just part of it. Once again, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with the kind of things in a professional manner. Not getting what you want 99% of the time. You're not gonna get what you want. We all have great ideas on what we would like to do, the systems we would like to buy, the employee we would love to hire or fire, and we just can't do it. For whatever reason, doesn't really matter. But be ready. 99% of the time, you can't get what you want, and that's what it is. Doing the routine and being bored, and that's okay. Not every day is about learning, progressing, and achievement and development and being interesting. Most days, 90%, are boring. That's just the routine, and that's okay. Be ready to be fired. Part of the business, and it's becoming more frequent. So there is the likelihood that you will get laid off, fired for whatever reason, business, your attitude. Sometimes people get fired because the boss doesn't like them. But get ready that you will get fired. So once again, these expectations. Our work is always about continuous problem solving. And when you set your expectations, that I'm always waiting for somebody to bitch about me behind my back, some of my ideas to be cancelled by the leadership by others, my plan not to be executed because I'm relying on other people to do what I want them to do and they're not going to do it, fine. I'm always ready for this, to be fired, to disagree with, to argue. I'm always waiting for an email, this passive-aggressive email to come through. I'm ready for it. But I'm not living in this delusion that everybody will be nice and everybody will play the game, the game based on the same rules and principles and values and ethics. I have abandoned this idea, and the moment I abandoned that, it took me 3 decades probably to learn. I mean, it's a long journey. It took me here. But I always thought that, if I can do this, why they are not doing it? But that's the wrong argument. This is literally me setting myself up for failure. Because once again, expectations. So, and what the young generation is making mistake with is that they always try, and it's not just at the workplace, everywhere I see that. And this is a recipe for failure, like it's a guaranteed fail. That they expect the others to adjust to them and the workplaces to change. Now, I'm not saying that these things are, shouldn't change and we should evolve, but we need to always face reality. And when this is majority of the workforce, I actually would make that claim that it's all of the workforces, that what I just, listed and even more, then maybe my expectation need to change. Because I'm not in line with reality. And it's easier to change myself and adapt myself to the environment based in line with my values and ethics and, integrity than to change other people and an environment. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I understand, I analyze what's going on in here, and I adjust myself. So I'm the winner. I'm the one who is winning in here, because the system is always bigger than the individual. Now, so this is the first conversation I always have. You will have days when you cry, when you are happy, when you achieve something. It's with the sense, you go home with the sense of achievement. You will have days when you feel I'm not doing enough. You will have days when you get told off, like a 5 years old. Even CEOs get told off, like 5 years old, a good dressing down. You will have days when you think that your ego gets hurt because they think that you are incompetent. When your ideas will be challenged, when your idea or plan will be taken apart and scrutinized, when you feel that, am I even good for this job? Am I doing enough? Am I delivering? What do they think? Am I going to lose my job? And you will have all that emotion. You will feel grief when you lose a colleague because the person's died, the person's been fired, or whatever happens, right? You will go through all sorts of emotions, and that's okay. That's part of it. That's how it is. That's how life is, and that's how work is, because work is just part of life. So I don't understand this idea that I don't want to go through all these. You will be humiliated. You will be shouted at probably everywhere. You will be treated like an idiot from time to time. Your competence will be questioned. Your suitability, your personality, they will ask you to change your personality. You will have everything, and that you are not alone. Don't think that you are unique, because the moment you think that you are unique with these problems, it means that nobody can help you. Well, we are all in the same boat, okay? So for me, I always find comfort knowing that all of us are going through the same. And I always just, comfort myself, hey, I'm not the worst employee in the world of corporations, so I'm good. I'm happy, navigating my way through this system. So give up this idea that this perfect place exists, because it doesn't. And now I'm going to move on to the toxic workplace, that it is the norm. And first of all, toxic workplace or dysfunctional, it is the norm, and I tell you why. Because people are miserable, and we all bring our crap into the workplaces. And that's what is a guaranteed recipe for dysfunction. People will be frustrated, aggressive, They bring their problem from outside, so they are miserable. They are single, they don't have anybody to talk to, so they're gonna come and sit in your office and talk to you about their whatever problem they have for an hour, and you are really don't even, not that you don't care, you don't even know what to do with this conversation. So these dysfunctions, I like to call them dysfunctions, it's normal as well. It's just like a family. And maybe that's where the family narrative comes from, which I absolutely hate and despise. But, this is it. People will disagree, agree, fight, and that's the norm. Now, but what I wanted to talk about is that you are overcomplicating the term toxic workplace. Now, it doesn't exist. This topic has been discussed like for so many years that I'm bored of it. It doesn't exist. What exists is toxic environment is not more than, and I've written an article about it, and I'm going to attach this article to the video below so you can read it, is that not more than being asked to renegotiate your values, ethics, integrity, belief, boundaries, self-worth, or standards. When they get you to do that, you betray yourself. And self-betrayal is the worst form of betrayal. It is like taking a toxic pill, yeah? And that is slow and painful. So they are asking you to do something that is compromising you. All of these areas that I said. Now, you might feel this way, but other people would do this happily because your values and their values and self-worth and boundaries and all that are different. So what is toxic for you, in terms of the environment? Other people thrive in that environment. So that's how I don't like is toxic environment for you. Other people are quite happy in here. So it's really a mismatch between you and the environment. So the fight is really with yourself, not with others. They are just giving you the option and you can decide whether to take them. Once again, you can't change the environment. But what you can do or have control over is your reaction. I give you an example, a very simple example. We can probably name examples 10 a day. Once I was not directly asked, but kind of instructed indirectly to hire based on color. And I went straight. I'm like, are you people that stupid you even put it in email? I'm like, let's go. Let's have that fight. I'm going to fight that. And it's not that the environment was toxic. There was that scenario. And of course, the environment became toxic. Why? Because I made a big fuss out of it. Up until then, everybody was quiet. I got on well with everybody. I'm very easy to work with. If I disagree with things, but as long as it doesn't bother me and it's not illegal and all that, okay, as long as there's logic in there, I take it, even if I disagree with it. Now, this became a big fuss. I made a big fuss. I went straight to the senior leader. I'm like, is this, guys, just for me to understand, is this what you want me to do? Hire people based on color? The senior leader had nothing to say, literally. I caught him off guard. I was very straightforward. I'm like, I can put up with so much bullshit, but and take place or part in shit that I don't want to, but this is where I draw the line. And anyway, it went on and on and on and on, and I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not recruiting. I stopped recruiting. I literally stopped. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Anybody else can do it. You guys want to do that? I'm not giving my name to this. And I left. I'm like, I put up with everything for 19 years. I never made a fuss. This, I'm not going to do it. And that was it. But I didn't stay and I didn't complain. Oh, it's a toxic environment. No, this is the thing I'm not taking part in. That would compromise my values, my integrity, everything that I believe in or against, and I'm not doing it. So that was it. So it was a dysfunction. It was a mismatch between me and what the environment wanted me to do. And I had the choice. And I didn't stay and cry about it. I didn't want them to change. I mean, I want them to change their mind that, hey, this is wrong, but they didn't. And I knew that, I'm not going to, what am I going to fight? If those 4 people, this is the recruitment strategy, what am I going to do? Nothing. The only thing I can do is remove myself. So, and you can always do that. I will put these articles in the video below. And stop looking for the perfect workplace. Doesn't exist. Learn the skills to navigate and move away from this idea that the workplace is toxic. It is just you are mismatched with the environment, and that's it. But once again, maybe don't run away. You need to learn these skills. And the only way you can learn them if you constantly practice how to do them. Will be hard, will be painful, but you can learn them. So set your expectations right so you stop crying about the work, the workplaces and the environment. I hope this helped. Bye.